ED doesn't stand for education.
Tonight, breaking news as we come on the air. Hurricane Maria's direct hit, slamming into Puerto Rico as a Category 4. One emergency official tonight saying the island is destroyed. The entire island without power, a curfew in place. And the new models tonight, the track as Hurricane Maria then gets closer to the East Coast and the timing. Also breaking, we are on the scene of a frantic rescue operation right now in Mexico City. Children trapped in a school, the catastrophic earthquake, buildings collapsing, the explosion, the death toll rising tonight. Just in this evening, North Korea now responding to President Trump, referring to Kim Jong-un as Rocket Man. What they're saying now. The horror late today at Yankee Stadium, the foul ball and the little girl, the players shaken and in tears on the field. And struck by lightning, the father and two children visiting a national park, their first camping trip.
This is ABC World News Tonight with David Muir.
Good evening, and it's great to have you with us here on a Wednesday night. And we begin with the first pictures now coming in from Puerto Rico after taking a direct hit. Hurricane Maria slamming into the island, and as you heard, one official saying the island is destroyed. Maria is the first Category 4 to hit there in nearly a century. 150-mile-an-hour winds ripping buildings apart, knocking out power everywhere. All of the electricity is out tonight. People ordered to stay inside until at least tomorrow amid fears of more massive flooding to come. And the satellite image tonight showing Maria's massive size, dwarfing the island. No part of it was spared. ABC's Victor Oquendo leading us off from San tonight.
Tonight, Maria's direct hit devastating Puerto Rico. The first Category 4 storm to strike Puerto Rico in 85 years, slamming ashore around sunrise.
We are back here on the northern side of San Juan here. I can only imagine what went down when this thing made landfall in the southeast corner of this island. Obviously, the eye getting closer and closer to us, that eye wall now scraping the northern beaches here.
Roofs peeled from buildings, debris flying, structures collapsing. Up to 30 inches of rain in some areas, engulfing whole neighborhoods. Michelle Torres using everything she can to keep the water out.
The wind howls and screeches, the doors rattle.
We are outside of San Juan in the town of Guaynabo. It was hit very hard. A lot of destruction to homes, down trees and power lines as well. And now they're dealing with this, flooding in every direction. The emergency management director saying the entire island is destroyed. Many of these homes not built to withstand any hurricane, let alone a Category 4.
Well, the hurricane came and took my house.
Is it all wind damage? Is that what happened here?
Wind damage.
Hospitals damaged, running on generator power. We're standing on one of the busiest thoroughfares in all of San Juan, Puerto Rico, the John F. Kennedy Expressway. Not a single car in sight. We're the only ones out here. Emergency management now confirms 100% of Puerto Rico now without power. Everywhere you look, down power lines like these, which stretch right across the expressway. 12,000 people heeding the call to get to shelters, including our hotel's ballroom. Evacuees moved off this arena floor due to safety concerns. The howling wind piercing the darkness. Terrified residents singing about strength during trying times to ease the fear. David, you can see the damage right here behind me. This is what so many streets across San Juan look like tonight. Officials saying many areas will be uninhabitable for weeks, maybe even months. They're urging people to shelter in place. They've issued a curfew, and the governor now saying he is launching search and rescue teams as we speak. David?
Victor Oquendo leading us off from San Juan. Victor, thank you. Let's get right to senior meteorologist Rob Marciano, also live in San Juan. Rob, where is this hurricane tonight? And you also have the new spaghetti models, the timing as it then gets closer to the East Coast.
Very important forecast, David. First of all, the center of this thing is now off the coast, about 75 miles east of Punta Cana, Dominican Republic. The mountains of Puerto Rico took a little steam out of it. It's a Category 2 now with 110-mile-an-hour winds. It may very well strengthen again as it heads towards the Turks and Caicos, but should stay away from the most populated areas there. And then getting up towards the Carolinas come Monday. What it does after that, certainly some question marks, but our longer-term spaghetti models, as you mentioned, do have it coming a little bit closer to the coastline, maybe coming up towards New England, maybe taking a very Jose-like track. Too soon to tell whether or not it will impact the U.S. directly, but something we'll be watching very, very closely in the coming days.
As we all think of the people of Puerto Rico tonight, Rob, in the meantime, our thanks to you and to Victor. We turn next to the other devastating scene unfolding right now. The catastrophic earthquake in Mexico, buildings coming down, people trapped, so many of them children. Tonight, we're on the scene of a school collapse. Some of the children have been pulled out, and rescue crews shouting silencio, silence, so often today in the moments they thought they could hear the children. ABC's Matt Gutman is on the scene tonight.
Tonight, hundreds still prying away at the debris, hoping to uncover a sign of life. A little girl believed to be entombed in the rubble that was once her school, possibly communicating with loved ones by text messages. Tonight, police escorting us into a search both frantic and eerily quiet at the Enrique Rebsamen school. First responders craning in to listen for a sign of life.
You see those hands up in the air, they've just called for silence. That means that they're trying to listen to see if they can actually hear the person they're looking for inside still.
That scene repeating itself all afternoon.
Activity here has been intensifying. Right now they're lifting that dog right onto the roof of what was that school. That is the third dog we've seen in just the past couple of minutes.
The calls for dogs and for doctors fleetingly raising the hopes of a nation fixated on this school and desperate for good news. But so far, that missing girl has not been found. You can see the destruction from overhead. Silence written in huge letters. Through a window, children's backpacks still hanging on their hooks. 13-year-old Rodrigo Heredia narrowly escaping. He says, "We had to be evacuated by crawling over a wall." The school, one of dozens of buildings that collapsed in central Mexico when the massive 7.1 quake struck, sending millions into the streets. Some capturing and sharing video of buildings crashing around them. Facades crumbling. Across Mexico City, the desperate search for survivors starting immediately, continuing through the night. And at the school, neighbors like Jesus Nangaray among the first to rush into the rubble, hearing screaming from the inside, then making a grim discovery.
So we pulled out a key, and I saw it, and they put his own sweater on his face, and they put him out on the
stretcher.
Was
he alive?
No, I don't think he was.
So far, at least 25 dead in the school alone, 11 rescued. These handwritten pages with the names of the wounded and their hospitals. Other notes listing the missing.
David, an entire nation is fixated on the drama playing out just beneath him. You know, we've been here for 8 hours watching rescuers get closer and closer to that little girl. Right now, they seem tantalizingly close, but one thing they all say, they are not leaving here until they pull the last person out of that school. David.
Matt Gutman right there in Mexico City. Matt, thank you. To the White House tonight, and new reporting here on the Russia investigation. Special counsel Robert Mueller and his new steps suggesting President Trump's own actions are now under scrutiny, including his firing of FBI Director and the meeting with Russian officials in the Oval Office the very next day. ABC's chief White House correspondent Jonathan Karl with what he's learned tonight.
Tonight, the clearest indication yet, special counsel Robert Mueller is looking into the actions of President Trump himself. As the New York Times first reported, Mueller has requested White House documents surrounding the president's Oval Office meeting with Russian officials the day after he fired FBI Director James Comey. Trump reportedly told the Russians, quote, "I faced great pressure because of Russia. That's taken off." The next day, he publicly acknowledged the Russian investigation was on his mind when he fired Comey.
When I decided to just do it, I said to myself, I said, you know, this Russia thing with Trump and Russia is a made-up story.
Mueller also wants documents concerning the response to the news that the president's son, Don Jr., met with Russian operatives during the campaign. At the time, the White House insisted the meeting was only about Russian adoptions, and the president publicly defended his son.
My son is a wonderful young man.
But emails show the meeting was set up, quote, to provide the Trump campaign with some official documents and information that would incriminate Hillary. We later learned the president was directly involved in crafting that first misleading response.
And John Karl with us here in New York today. And we learned something else today, that the legal bills for the president and his son are being paid for with donations made by everyday Americans to the Republican National Committee. How unusual is that?
Well, it's perfectly legal, but it is highly unusual, if not unprecedented, for a political party to pay the personal legal bills of a president and his family. And we're talking about $230,000 for Donald Trump's lawyers and another $200,000, nearly $200,000 to Don Jr.'s lawyers. All the more notable, David, because in this case, the president is a billionaire.
John Carl with us here in New York. John, thanks as always. In the meantime, next to Capitol Hill tonight and the Senate's Hail Mary push to kill Obamacare, their new replacement plan turning over much of the responsibility to the states. But it is running into a lot of opposition tonight, including from late-night TV host Jimmy Kimmel, making his personal story a political one. ABC's Mary Bruce with the tally. Republican senators can only afford 2 no votes.
Tonight, Jimmy Kimmel is taking on the architect of the new Republican health care bill.
And this guy, Bill Cassidy, just lied right to my face.
Last spring, Kimmel shared the emotional story of his infant son's heart condition.
No parent should ever have to decide if they can afford to save their child's life. It just shouldn't happen.
In response, Senator Cassidy promised he would defend protections for people with pre-existing conditions. But now Kimmel says he's not living up to his word.
You can promise those people with pre-existing conditions that they will not be charged more, they will not be discriminated against, they won't be denied care.
Absolutely. It's in the legislation.
But experts tell us there's no guarantee. In the new bill, states could allow insurers to charge more to people with some pre-existing conditions. States still have to provide adequate and affordable coverage, but those terms are not defined or enforced.
Optional pre-existing condition?
The Budget Office is expected to release a preliminary report next week outlining how much the bill costs, but not how many Americans could stand to lose coverage. For that, they need more time.
Mary Bruce with us live tonight. Mary, as you point out, we're still waiting for the CBO score, which would estimate how many fewer Americans would be insured. In the meantime, we know that Republicans can only afford to lose 2 votes. 4 key senators tonight: Rand Paul, John McCain, Susan Collins, Lisa Murkowski. They could all be pivotal here. What do you know, Mary?
David, here's the state of play. Paul tells me he's a no. Collins is leaning no. Murkowski says she's studying the bill, and McCain won't say where he stands. Republicans do not have the votes yet, but they intend to hold a vote next week. David.
Mary Bruce live on the Hill again tonight. Thank you, Mary. Next, North Korea reacting this evening to President Trump's fiery address at the UN. The president saying the U.S. may have no choice but to totally destroy North Korea, calling its leader Kim Jong-un a rocket man on a suicide mission. Tonight, North Korea's foreign minister calling those remarks, quote, the sound of a dog barking, and that North Korea is not scared. We turn now to the horror unfolding right now in Myanmar. Vice President Mike Pence just today telling the UN Security Council to take strong and swift action. The Rohingya are considered one of the most persecuted minorities on earth. Our cameras there as they escape their homes amid reports of torture, rape, and ethnic cleansing by their own country's military. Myanmar's de facto leader, Aung San Suu Kyi, a Nobel laureate, addressing the Rohingya crisis for the first time since reports more than 400,000 have now fled in fear. And ABC's Bob Woodruff tonight on the front lines in Myanmar. You're about to see what Bob witnessed firsthand.
They are running for their lives, hoping to escape what they believe is certain death, risking it all to cross illegally from Myanmar into Bangladesh.
We are being persecuted. We are scared. There have been killings.
Disturbing reports emerging of a new wave of attacks unleashed by government forces in Myanmar on the Rohingya, a Muslim minority. There are reports of villages surrounded, homes burned to the ground, torture, executions, and rape. So we traveled to Bangladesh to speak with survivors of government attacks such as this one. Rohingya villagers seen here struck repeatedly by police. Everyone we encounter wants to share their story.
Did you see gunfire? Did you see attacks from the government? What exactly happened?
This is the Naf River, separating Myanmar from Bangladesh. Just across the water, there in Rakhine, is where the attacks against the Rohingya are reported to be unfolding.
The Myanmar authorities are not holding anybody accountable for the crimes that are being perpetrated against the civilian population. The military enjoys complete impunity.
And Bob Woodruff is with us now. And Bob, we mentioned their de facto leader, Myanmar's Aung San Suu Kyi. She canceled her trip to the UN General Assembly here in New York this week amid this growing criticism, not only from the U.S., but really from all over the world.
True. She has not condemned it yet. There's a list of leaders around the world that are criticizing for this, including the Pope. The strongest words so far really are from Vice President Pence today, where he called on Myanmar